Welcome back. It's been a while since I did my last video for YouTube, but here we are. I wanted to send this out since the Substack went out this morning. This will all be about Para-1 challenges or the Mimosa Purica Seed Challenge. This is a gentle gut cleanse that you can do at any time during the year. I personally like to do it after trips just to give my gut a little bit of gentle support and help it get stuff out. If you are somebody that's been following my work on Instagram for a while, you know that I'm big on the drainage pathways, and especially the colon being one of the most important pathways, because when that's stuck, everything else upstream is going to suffer. And that's where a lot of the things can get stuck. We talk about toxins, waste, undigested food, excess hormones, etc. Lots of things that can get stuck in the gut if it's not flowing properly, meaning if you are somebody that is more prone to constipation. If that's you, or if it's not you, you can still benefit from something as gentle as the Para-1 challenge. Now, before I get into how to do it, which is pretty simple, I'm going to share my way and also Cellcore's way. I want to show you a little bit what you can expect to see in your stool, because I believe that when you know what to expect, it helps with the process, but it also is satisfying in a way because you know that it is working. So let me show you some things that I think you should know about. A lot can come out during the Para-1 challenge, even though it's pretty gentle. One of the things that you can expect to see is mucoid plaque. This is the most likely thing that will come out in your stool, and it looks like this. It can also look like this. It can come in different colors. For example, black, brown, or gray. I've actually seen gray myself. It was pretty scary. It is pretty hard. It is a collection of things. So it can contain parasites, microscopic or large parasites. It can contain biofilms as well as mucus, and also any shedding that the lining of the GI is doing, which is a pretty normal process, as well as toxins. This can be a collection of things. That's why it typically smells really bad. This is pretty common in IBS. So this is one thing that you should know about, especially if you do have IBS. As somebody that's struggled with chronic constipation, IBS-C for most of my life, this is one of those things that can truly block the opening of the intestines and can lead to constipation. It can lead to bloating. It can lead to other symptoms like irritability, anxiety, depression. Food sensitivities is a big one. Nutrient deficiencies, poor sleep, headaches, migraines, fatigue, heart palpitations, as well as anemia. So the effect can be systemic, even though it's affecting the gut. And that's because we know that whatever happens in the gut, it can impact every part of your body. So this is kind of what you can expect. Mucoid plaque, it can look like this. It can look like all kinds of things. I've seen the weird things that I haven't even been able to identify when people do Para-1 challenges or full moon challenges, which are more aggressive. And that's one thing that you can check out more. I will leave a link below in the description box. You can also see other types of parasites. We have, for example, hookworm. You can see tapeworm, even though these are not as likely to come out with just the Para-1 challenge. Pinworms as well, very small, hard to notice a lot of the time. Whipworm. Flukes. This is a pretty gross picture. This is actually flukes in the liver. But they can look like this. The number 15, this is actually a picture from one of my clients who was coughing this up. And her doctor also extracted the same thing from her liver area. And we have more of them here. A lot of this will come out when you're doing more aggressive cleanses, or what I like to call comprehensive cleanses, where we do parasite cleanses for 2 months or longer. But you can still see stuff sometimes with the Para-1 challenge. Roundworms are pretty common as well. I know these are pretty gross. Now that you know what to expect, let's talk about how you can do this very simple challenge, the Para-1 challenge or the Mimosa Purica Seed Challenge. I am well aware there are other Mimosa Purica seed supplements on the market. I personally only have experience with Para-1. I have a lot of experience with Para One and I trust it. It works. So I personally would not go for a different brand just because I don't know how effective they are. If you can get your hand on Para One, which I will leave the links in the description for Cellcore, because it is a practitioner brand, you'd have to have an account. I will leave my patient direct code and also give you a 15% discount through that code. And you can purchase it through the website. You only need one supplement for this challenge. This is why this is also very attractive, because you don't have to spend a ton of money. You can just get a supplement and use it properly so that you can see what can come out. This can help flush out biofilm, mucoid plaque, toxic materials, parasites that have been building up in the intestines. If you ever open a capsule of Para One in water, you will see that it will create this gelatinous shape and texture. And that's what helps with smothering parasites and pulling things out of your colon. Some people have also asked me in the past if what they're seeing in their stool is Para One versus a parasite. And the easy way to tell is that when it is a parasite, it doesn't break. Para One breaks easily. So if you ever want to try it, just put it in a little bit of water, pull it up, and you can easily pick it apart. It's going to break. Parasites don't break like that. So that's an easy way to tell. You'll know when you pass things what is and what isn't Para One if you do this long enough. If you do it multiple times, you'll get used to what you're seeing, whether it's a parasite or Para One. I should also note here that even though as a challenge, this is pretty gentle and it's unlikely to cause Herx reactions or detox reactions, it's still very important that your drainage is open, because then a challenge like this would not work. If your colon is not working well, if it's not draining well, if you're not pooping at least once a day, having complete bowel movements, then you shouldn't be doing a challenge like this, because it defeats the purpose. Again, all of these things will come out of your colon. So if you're constipated already, that's not going to work. So for somebody like you, I do recommend working on drainage first for the first 30 days before you do a Para One challenge. But keep that in mind that if you are already backed up, you are more likely to herx and have detox reactions. I typically don't recommend doing any active cleanse or any detox unless your drainage is already open, because there's no point. You're just going to be wasting time and money. Who should try the Para One challenge? This is beneficial for people who have an acute issue like food poisoning. It can be incredible. Para One can help absorb toxins as well as soothe the digestive tract. If you are somebody that has hit a wall in your health journey or plateaued and are no longer progressing, this can be an incredible way to change that really fast. And also persistent intestinal issues that aren't improving. So you've done a lot of things, the SIBO protocol, the parasite protocol. This is just a way to give it that extra push as well as maintain it. You can also use this for maintenance, which is what I do, just to make sure that you do not develop the same problems again. This is coming from somebody that did parasite cleansing for 8 months and was passing parasites almost on a daily basis. So I've been there. Not fun. First, I'm going to share the way Cellcore recommends that you do this, and then I'm going to share the way I like to do it. Step 1, choose a day to do intermittent fasting or water-only fast. And this is the moment where you have to decide if this is appropriate for you, because this is not appropriate for everybody. Step 2, take 2 capsules of Para One with plenty of water when you wake up. Step 3, take 2 more capsules of Para One every hour with plenty of water and avoid eating. And you will continue doing this, trying to get as many doses of Para One before eating, aiming for about 8 doses on challenge day, making it 16 capsules per day. Some people will not get to that dose, and that's totally fine. This is just what Cellcore recommends so that it can work more effectively. The higher the dose, the better it's going to be, because more things will come out as well. But not everybody can tolerate that, and that's totally fine. If you're a beginner, that's not going to be you. If you are already constipated, of course, you need more drainage first. So lots of things to consider, but this is what they recommend. It works really well. Maybe you are stuck in that first step, asking yourself if it is appropriate for you to do a water-only fast or intermittent fasting, depending on your health state at this time. And if that's you and you cannot fast, that's fine. We're going to talk about my challenge, which is the next one. Who should not water fast though? Let's talk a little bit about this. Generally speaking, people on a caloric restriction ideally shouldn't be doing any water fast. ideally should be supporting drainage heavily, especially if they are also losing weight, because a lot of toxins get mobilized during that time and you want to make sure that they are being excreted. Actually, if I were to do a weight loss plan with a client, I would definitely have them support drainage and detox at the same time to make sure that they are not causing more inflammation in the process. People with micronutrient deficiencies, people with a high toxic burden or exposure, people with impaired drainage, people with impaired detox, people under chronic stress, people with high or low cortisol levels, people with nervous system dysregulation. So generally speaking, these are not the ideal population to do a water fast on their own. They can do it with a practitioner, but I wouldn't do it on your own just because we don't know how you may react. Some people will be completely fine. This is just a gentle warning that you might be at a higher risk for Herx reactions and feeling worse if you were to do this challenge. Now, let's talk about my challenge. This is what I like to do. So 15 capsules of Para 1, similar to the dose that Cellcore recommends. And it is split up into 3 doses, 5 capsules when you wake up, 5 capsules at noon, 5 capsules at bedtime. Ideally, you want to do this away from meals, so 30 minutes before a meal or 2 hours after a meal with plenty of water. This is considered also on an empty stomach. So when you hear people say take a supplement on an empty stomach, that's what that means. And I will do this for at least a week to 2 weeks. People, for example, with chronic IBS would benefit more from 2 weeks rather than just a week. And the frequency, how often you can do this a year, I'll do it 2 to 4 times a year, depending on when you need it most. I have clients that have done this with me many times, and now they just do it on their own. They kind of know when their body needs a little bit of a push, a little bit of support, and they do it. They don't even ask me. I usually just find out afterwards because they send me pictures and they let me know that they did it. Personally, I like to do it after traveling, especially because you've been exposed to new things, new water, new food, new environment. Your gut can struggle a little bit, the microbiome as well, even though you may not have symptoms. I just like always staying on top of it because I struggled with parasites for so long, roundworms to be more specific, and it's just a way for me to maintain my health. And it's worked really, really well since 2022 when I finished my parasite cleanse, my comprehensive 8 months parasite cleanse. If you are a beginner, you may not go for 15 capsules a day. You may start at 3 capsules a day divided in 3 doses. 1 capsule when you wake up, 1 capsule at noon, 1 capsule at bedtime. That's totally fine. And then pay attention to how you feel. And if all goes well, the next day you can increase the dose. And you can increase it by 1 capsule a day. It doesn't have to be 3 capsules a day. So completely up to you and how well your body tolerates it. Having Herx reactions is not a good sign. It's telling us that your drainage is impaired. You are not actually removing, excreting what you're trying to do through the para or other supplements that you may be taking if you're doing another detox. So it's important that you keep an eye on that. If you start herxing, which can look like a lot of different things, you might have flu-like symptoms, feeling more tired. You may also notice that the same symptoms you already have, they get a little bit more intense or a little bit more frequent. So it's kind of unpredictable, but the thing that stands out is that it starts with the challenge. And that's your sign that it is indeed a Herx reaction or a detox reaction from the challenge. And if that continues, it is important that you stop because you need to be going back to the basics, to drainage before you implement something like this. If you do not have any Herx reactions or detox reactions, you can continue this for a good 7 days. Now, if you're a beginner, you may also choose to do this for only 3 days. 3 days would be the minimum that I would do it for to really notice a difference. But 7 days is kind of like the sweet spot. And then for more severe cases, like I said, chronic IBS, people that really need to get in there and get things moving, 2 weeks is a pretty sweet spot. If you plan to do this in the near future, check the description below. I will put a link to my community where you can share pictures of what you're passing in your stool. I can help you identify them as well. And you'll have other links in there as well if you want to try full moon challenges or the drainage support protocol, which is not up yet, but I will be adding that in the future. If you have any questions about the challenge or any other things that I discussed in this video, please leave them in the comments below. I will get back to you. And also, please like, share, subscribe so that we can help other people. And I will see you next time. Bye.